En la ciencia.
A soldier.
Big red in his this siren, not siren. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but it's on me heavy. I promise it's getting ridiculous after this drop. Do not jump to no conclusions. I don't need these folks in my mentions. No, I'm too solid, gon' keep it a brick. I ain't going back and forth cause I said what I said. I'm clearing the air cause I feel it's my place. I gotta jump on the coke folk head. Y'all come to the city, get a feel for this air. And I wanna go home, I know you love what it taste like. But it ain't too far, we had to live up in these trenches. Y'all went back to the birds when they got up on them late nights. Look, we really ran through these streets. We ain't never get a break. So we speaking on Atlanta, I don't play right. But I'ma get right to the subject, ain't gonna beat around the bush. Answer this, if you say you from the A, right? Where's I know you from? What hood did you live? What hospital bed were you born? Look, I know it sound crazy, but I'm a A baby. I gotta start pulling for card. We had to live in this zoo where you don't make it out, so I don't give a fuck what they say. Look, if you niggas ain't grow up in APS system, you this shit is not from the A. And you from Gwinnett, rep that perpetrator step back. Talking about you from the outskirts, could've killed that. Rep where you from and don't rep where you home. No Air Force claim around the world, know they felt that. Earned out my stripes and I got my respect. The whole city know I'm a beast. Look, if you not from this side and you don't know the facts, just chill and repeat after me. Cali Park, it's not Atlanta. Lithonia, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Clayco, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Decatur, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Gwinnett, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Roswell, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Fort Park, it's not Atlanta. Nope. Lynburn, it's not Atlanta. Look, the North, it's not Atlanta. No. The South, it's not Atlanta. No. You niggas, it's not Atlanta. No. You shit is not Atlanta. No. Big Rudder on to Atlanta. I had to get through Atlanta. I'm talking about the 1, the 3, and the 4 with the O, not the new Atlanta. Get thick. They gonna be mad about that one. They gonna be beat mad.
Who we got in this thing today? Don't y'all mind that. That's just my kids. Feeling food, man. No, JP, that's Amaretta out of Atlanta. And she's saying not Atlanta. Surprised you ain't heard that song yet. Surprised you haven't heard. So we're just waiting for Nikki to hop on, and then we will do a countdown, and then we will get rolling. This is new. I like this whole idea of you guys being able to watch this recorded. So all of this part right here will be cut out. And then I'll do that countdown, and then that's what you'll see on Friday. But this is brand new, man. This wasn't even a thing before. I guess they just made this a thing, which is great because I know a lot of you said that the live aspect is what you wanted as well, and it's always what I wanted. So here we go. What y'all drinking on, huh? Put in the comments what y'all drinking on, what you drinking on, what you snacking on, what you got ready for you to party. To party. Hold on, let me get my music back on, man. Let me get my music back on. Hot cider. I've never been a cider fan. Dirty cider, clean cider. I've just never been a cider guy. Sorry. All right, I'm going to go back to the other thing. We will be back in a second. Don't go nowhere. Drinking cider. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to save that for the show. We'll get back. All right, y'all. Nikki says she's ready. Says she's about to hop in this thing, man. Send this out to anybody else in our group or just anybody you guys think would be interested in watching this and commenting in. The big reason I wanted to do this is so we can have the comments on the screen and have the interaction. So anybody you think that will enjoy this and have a good time, you can send to them as well. Can you guys hear that piano? Let me know if you guys can hear that piano. Oh man, I gotta figure out how to hook that up because that would be pretty cool if I could play piano. Don't worry, guys, we'll get there. Hola.
Hey,
I told you she was coming, y'all.
I'm here.
They're on here like, what the hell? It's supposed
I'm
to,
so sorry.
What
How
are
long-
you guys doing?
I just wanted to make sure that this time I don't have two little gremlins running around. So they have their juice, they have their treats, they have their movie, their blankies. They're all good. So we should be good to go.
Look at you doing the damn thing.
I even took them outside earlier to wear them out, so hopefully they fall asleep.
Genius.
So I was really thinking it out this time.
You're a genius. Did you know that?
I know.
All right. So I'm going to, first of all, shut this music off. All right. I'm going to do a, actually, I think I might just take us off screen. No, I'll do a 30-second countdown so that when I edit it, I can cut out all the beginning part into that 30-second countdown, and then we'll just go from there.
Sweet.
All right, let's rock.
Let's get it.
I do it every time.
Every time. Every time. I think start laughing.
Maybe that's like my signature, you know what I mean? Like,
there you go.
If at first you don't succeed, 30-second try again.
Right.
Anyway, what's up, family? What's going on with you? It is No Hangover. It is episode 3. When I started typing it in, I was like, wow, episode 3, like as if it was episode 300. I'm like, man, look at this thing grow. Big fan of it. Big fan. I am your host, Kujo Speaks, and this is your host,
Nikki.
Holla at your boy. We got a fun one today, man. We went out and rushed at the last minute and made sure we had a mocktail, which Nikki found, and I'm very nervous about.
I think it's gonna be good.
I don't though.
No,
I don't at all. But here's the good part about it. I had a thought outside when I was thinking about mixing it and drinking it and the reaction to it, and I was like, you know what would probably be the most accurate for going to the bar and drinking a mocktail is get something that's disgusting. Right? Because when you drink booze, what's the first thing you do? Woo!
Yeah.
Oh man. So if you get something
my issue was I always got the sweet drinks, the good shit, the fruity shit. And then I would slurp them down so quick because they were so good. I'd be sitting there for like 30 minutes and then I would stand up and like that's when everything would spin. Like I thought I was cool until I stood up, and then everything just went to shit at that point. And then I knew I screwed up at that point.
That'll get you every time. See, my what's it called? My tolerance was so high that I was the same way, but with like hard liquor. So I'd take 5, 6, 7, 8 shots, and by the time I'm on my 9th, 10th shot and 6th, 7th beer, then I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling it.
Right
now, 2 hours later, I'm like, oh. That's horrible. Quick shout out to the homies in the building. We were able to do something cool today, and we got our family in the building with us, watching in, commenting in. Shouts out Joel, David, JP, Ashley. Who else is up in here? I sent it to my mama. She might drop by in a little bit. Wifey's gonna stop by. This is gonna be a really cool show. I'm very excited. Very excited. So today we will start as usual, traditionally, with our, I think, drink of the week we should start with, so we can have something to sip on and do our cheers.
Yeah.
Did you already mix yours up?
No. So do you want me to explain the drink?
Yes, please. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying a new feature today, and I actually have what I'm calling the mix cam. Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh, look at that.
So if you want to explain it up, and I'll mix it up, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, honestly, because I have my little setup here too. I got all kinds of stuff.
I forgot the oranges.
Yeah, see, and too bad you're not local, because look, I got 2 oranges.
I got some little mini ones upstairs, but I don't really. If I was at the bar, I would never put an orange on my mimosa. Right. So I figured, why,
Yeah, but I think that's the fun part of the mocktails is you actually care enough. Like you're not just like you actually care to make it look pretty.
Yeah. Oh, I cared enough to go all the way to the store. I went to like 3 different stores to find this because I did not have a glass. We have so many young kids that we don't keep glass in our house.
Right.
So I had to like frantically go look for this. I went to a bunch of stores for you guys.
That's funny you say that because we have like maybe 3 glass cups and I never use them because kids. And I pulled them out for this episode. And as soon as my daughter seen it, she said, "I want that cup."
Of course.
Ain't no way you're getting my only glass cup. It's not going to happen.
All right. So let's mix these things.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is virgin mimosas. I feel like mimosas are like a very girly drink. This is like what the girls would drink at like brunch. You know what I mean? Like little orange juice and some liquor of some sort in there, and you get tipsy at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Not just for the girls. I used to be a huge like brunch and endless mimosas was my thing. I think I still hold the record at one of my local bars. What was it? I drank like it was like 28 of them or something crazy like that. But they were in the little champagne flutes, though. It wasn't like a big, you know what I mean? Like this.
I guess that makes up for it.
Right.
All right. So, technically, this is like the simplest, I think, mocktail that you can make. There's only 2 ingredients, and it's orange juice and ginger ale. And then if you want to get fancy like me, you can throw an orange on there and make it look cute. So, you ready to mix up?
I'm ready to mix up. Quick tidbit for those of you that don't know, Verner's is a Detroit thing, right? If you're in the Midwest at all, you know about Verner's. I read a little thing the other day that said Verner's is the oldest pop or soda in America. It was like the first one. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm getting OG over her. Now, in terms of putting this in, are we doing it like the champagne? Because typically it would be all champagne and a little bit of OJ. Or what do you think the best quantity mix is for this?
I think I'm going to do mine like half and half.
Okay.
And we'll see. Maybe we could add a little something if we need it, Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without spilling it, too.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, let's do. Look at me getting all. It looks pretty. You
did yours opposite.
Well, this is how you're not supposed to pour the champagne second, fool. That's like pouring your milk. That's like pouring the milk before the cereal. All right, shake her up.
Look at that.
It looks mimosy.
It looks so cute. I love that. This might be my new morning drink in place of the coffee.
Well, hold up. Let's see if it's any good first.
Right, yeah.
All right. As usual, let's make a toast. Toast to those we have lost before. Toast to those fighting beside us in recovery. And toast to those who have yet to come to our side and most likely will. Love you. Cheers.
Cheers.
I can't lie, it tastes like a mimosa.
Yeah. I mean, I think I put a little too much OJ in mine.
I think I would add. I think I would add a little more of. If you want to simulate that bite that the champagne gives you, I
Right.
think you got to add more of the. I mean, honestly, do it like you would if it was champagne.
Right. It's good though.
Yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, I would drink these. I mean,
Ooh-wee. So it looks like we're 2 for 2 on our mocktail choices. Now, between last week's choices and this week's choices, I think I would probably drink this more often. I don't know. The other ones they're really heavy.
yeah.
Like super heavy on the tummy, even though they were super tiny.
Right.
But I definitely could get down with that. So
yeah, I think I would drink these more than the other ones as well. Plus those other ones are so freaking expensive. I think I spent like $4 on everything I needed for this. You know what I mean?
Right. That was the beauty about it. Besides the glass, like the glass itself was like $3.99, and then you know what I mean. So yeah, man, here we go. We're on a roll. So we got, what was it called? Day Sweet last week. We have the non-alcoholic mimosas this week. This is a way for you guys to be able to not miss out on the party. I know for myself, it was the fact that there was no options. There was very limited options for me to go, you know, even to like a brunch or a bottomless mimosa. The temptation to want that and not water, or like a Sprite, or, you know, something lame like that. If you can have a drink, especially for those of us that aren't, I guess, ready to bust it open and tell everybody I'm an addict, I'm in recovery. If you want to be able to go out with those groups of friends and not have to disclose that, then I would go to the bar and say, hey, could you make me a Verner's and orange juice, or whatever the case may be? And there you go.
Yeah. Anywhere you go, you can ask for the virgin option of whatever you want to drink, and they should be able to make it for you.
I think a lot of people don't, though. Like a lot of bartenders don't know a wealth of those things. Like the Dirty Shirley was the only thing that I ever knew at a bar was non-alcoholic.
Right.
I didn't know there was a myriad of options, and I think now.
Well, maybe that should be something that we, you know, aim to maybe educate bartenders on, like, you know, have an option for those sober friends, because, you know, it's important that I have so many friends who are in recovery, and I feel like, you know, it's something that you don't see often. People in recovery, you always think of them as like they avoid bars. But I have a lot of people in my life who are in recovery who still go out and like do all the things. They just don't drink.
Right.
So, you know, it would be nice to be able to feel included with a fancy drink instead of a bottle of water, like you said. So I think, you know, if bars would start participating in that, probably make some decent money on some non-alcoholic beverages.
Big facts.
Yeah.
The network just partnered with got a venue, and big news is I think they're going to make outside the Sobar Lounge. So have, like, you know, blenders outside and all non-alcoholic options. It'll be a really great space for people who are sober or just DDing that night to have somewhere to go kick it instead of having to be around all the drunk folks.
Right.
So
I heard that Texas, I think it may be Texas or California, one of the two, have actual like sober bars all over the place. Like,
really,
it's a bar environment. You know, you can dance, there's music, there's lights, and there's a bar, but there's no liquor. It's just mocktails, and you can go do the same thing you would, just minus the intoxication.
That's it. That's what I'm looking for. So I would definitely want to do something like that in our area up here in the Detroit area, Metro Detroit area. I think it's needed. I definitely do. I think it'll save a lot of lives, because I think boredom brings a lot of people to the bar.
Yes.
And then they make terrible decisions. So like you said, if there's a place where we can go dance or kick it and not have to be around all that, I think it'd be great. Also, it'd be an incredible alternative for women on first dates. Yeah. Instead of going and getting your drink spiked or getting drunk with some dude at a bar or whatever, go to a sober bar, have the same amount of fun, just without the mental block or whatnot.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part for me getting sober, was like missing out on those things. Like even still today, sometimes I crave like just like the dance floor energy. Yeah. You know, I want to go and get down sometimes, but I feel like I can't, you know? Yeah, we need some sober bars for sure. That'd be so fun. I would. Oh my god, I would have so much fun at a sober bar.
I think we need to make this a thing. So another thing I've been thinking about for the show was, and if you guys know anybody that runs bars or owns bars or anything like that, let them know. I want us to start being the sober partner for bars, for alcohol, companies, for Budweiser, for big events. If we can become the sober partner for those events and be the ones that are educating people on non-alcoholic stuff or the dangers of this, that, and the other, just whatever that looks like, I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah. And I don't think anybody's tapped into that yet. Nobody's really, I think I've seen a few times where our sober partner, blah, 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 but it's still like that little niche market.
Right. Honestly, it would make me respect, the alcoholic companies so much more if they did have an option. So I feel like alcohol is like thrown in our faces so much, like every single day, driving down the road, you see signs. Anywhere you go to eat, there's alcohol. It's hard for people who are sober.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I would have so much more respect for, Budweiser or Bud Light or whatever if they made some things that are for sober people, for people who can't handle their alcohol.
And I was talking to Princess when we were talking about the Sober Lounge thing, and she's been looking into, what to put back there. And she was like, man, I was looking at stuff and making sure it had absolutely zero alcohol. She's like, it's crazy how many things say non-alcoholic, but there's still a trace of alcohol in it.
Right.
And what people don't understand, it's for people like us, just that little bit of alcohol. If we start feeling that buzz, if I start feeling that buzz at all, and I know the difference between an excitement buzz and an actual buzz. Right. If I start feeling that buzz, I'm going to go down the circle of, well, I technically guess I relapsed now, so I might as well go all out and start again tomorrow, and I might not make it home.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I didn't even know that there was drinks like that have small amounts of alcohol. So I would be pretty pissed off if I, tried to drink something thinking it was non-alcoholic and like screwed my sobriety up because I just wasn't aware of it,
Yeah, it sucks. You got to be super careful, and that's the other thing too. Don't just believe what people tell you when you go out. If you are someone that thinks they can go to the bar and get non-alcoholic options, don't believe what they tell you. You know what you're drinking, because when I was at the wedding, I sat at the pregnant girl table, right, and everybody was supposed to have the non-alcoholic, but luckily I looked over as dude was pouring mine and it wasn't. So I was like, hey, can I see that bottle? And I looked at it and it said sparkling on it, but it had alcohol in it, and I was like, whoa, okay, like that's a little weird. Like that could have screwed me completely right there.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So just be careful. Know that we here at No Hangover are really, really, really trying to become a big movement and a big place for people like us. Because honestly, I'm tired of us hanging out in the shadows. Yeah. I'm really tired of us being second fiddle. It shouldn't be. I feel like we get more judged and more pushed aside than like a lot of the other demographics do.
Absolutely. There's so many people, and even me personally, that have experienced, you have friends who are in recovery, but you also have friends who are just like able to handle their drinks on the weekends.
Yeah.
And like your friends sometimes just don't invite you places because they're afraid to trigger you. And that sucks. Like whether it's like for your own well-being that they're doing it or not, it still sucks to be left out just because of something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a good feeling.
To me, it sucks because it's like, when you're in active addiction, you make people uncomfortable with your active addiction, right? But I feel like the people that respect you and don't want to trigger you or whatnot feel just as uncomfortable like with how to navigate with you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the last thing we want to do is make people uncomfortable, and it feels like our sobriety makes people even more uncomfortable sometimes, and it sucks.
Right.
Hop water. Let me say hi to some people real quick. It looks like Joelle's mom's in the building. Is that real? I put it up there for a second. It's Robin. I think Robin may be Joelle's mom. And if that's the case, oh my God, welcome to the building. We love you so much.
Yeah.
You have created one of the coolest humans on the planet. Ashley says hop water is non-alcoholic seltzer and has a lot of nootropics. I don't even know what a nootropic is, but I'm with it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We have confirmation. Robin is Joel's mom. Welcome to the building.
Oh,
We love
awesome.
you. We love you so much. Of course, we got JP in here. What do you say? Yep.
At least JP doesn't have a microphone because we'd hear
right.
in the background.
So we do Zoom meetings with our family, and you're supposed to mute up in the Zoom meeting to make sure everybody can speak and not be distracted. And JP is the Mr. Non-muter. It's the most hilarious thing. I think one week I called him Mr. Giggles, and he was not too happy about it. All right, so I got a cool game I think we can play. I think going forward, this is going to be probably one of the most fun parts of the show. I died laughing just trying to make this game myself.
Oh boy!
What in the world was that? Hello? Start hearing a echo. Am I tripping? Is this really non-alcoholic? What is is there like a chemical thing that happens in your brain when you drink this?
Like orange juice and ginger ale creates some type of jail alcohol.
It's possible. Legal Pruno.
Right.
All right. So the game is going to be called Who Done It? And this edition is going to be plastered or plain stupid. So I looked up a bunch of stories of some really wild, wacky crimes that have happened. I had to admit some of the things in there so you don't know. But the goal of the game is for you to tell me, was this person plastered or were they just plain stupid?
Oh, I'm so excited. This sounds so fun.
I know. I had a really good time looking these stories up.
Oh boy.
It's wild. All right. Number one. Matt Faulkner decided his gut health was beneath him and ventured to his local Taco Bell for some 5-star Hispanic cuisine. After receiving his food, he fell asleep in the drive-thru. His car was in park and his foot was on the gas, causing his engine to catch fire. When police woke him up and asked for ID, he tried to hand them a taco.
It's definitely messed up.
Was Matt plastered or was Matt just plain stupid?
He was definitely plastered.
What do you guys think? We'll give them a second to see what they think.
I don't think it's possible to be that stupid.
I mean, you'd be surprised.
I guess so.
I read a lot of stories, and the ones that you would think were plastered, you'd be surprised. JP says stupid. Robin says plastered. Brittany says plastered.
Well, we got 3 for plastered.
And you said plastered as well,
yep.
Right? All right. Drum roll, please. Matt Faulkner was plastered. Dude was hammered. And it was one of the Taco Bells, I think, that served booze. I don't know if they just threw that in there for satire or whatnot, but it was late at night. Dude was hammed. Dude was hammered.
Yeah, because there ain't no way you go to grab your ID and you feel something as big and as slimy as a taco and think that that's what you need.
Now the part about falling asleep in that part, like I get that. With all the kids I have, I am super, super sleep deprived all the time. Wifey, you're wrong. Just plain stupid. It's the only time I can tell my wife she's wrong while I'm on the show. So I'm gonna take advantage of that.
Wife, I need to meet her.
Indeed. But with being sleep deprived, I could definitely see myself falling asleep at 2 a.m. trying to give me some Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, same here.
All right, number 2. October 12th, 2022. A 55-year-old Massachusetts woman. I had to throw that in there because that adds a little level of crazy. Throws you off a little bit. Rory Wood was a part of a group of protesters at a Long Meadow home. Sheriff's officers were serving a legal eviction notice, but were opposed by a local group supporting the homeowner. Wood, who did not live at the residence, arrived in a beekeeper suit in a van full of beehives. She began shaking the crates. She was arrested and charged with assault and battery. She was told that some of the officers were allergic to bees. She replied by saying, "Oh yeah, good."
That's just stupid.
Was she plastered or was she just plain stupid?
You got to think that whole thing. Unless she was plastered for like a week, because where did you get the bees that cost you?
Right.
No, she had some time to figure this out.
That's what I think too. That's what when I was reading it, I was like, man, how could you be? But then again, I think a lot of those protesters, they look to me when I see them out, I'm like, y'all are acting pretty erratic. I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, we got Robin said stupid. David said stupid. JP
All
said
stupid.
stupid. Joel said stupid. Wifey said stupid. Nobody's gonna go against the grain here. Good. Don't go against the grain because that woman was plain stupid.
Makes sense.
My thought was though, like the way they read it in the story, it made it sound like she was there. The cop showed up and then she like dipped out, went and grabbed her bees and came back. People are wild.
She showed up prepared.
Yeah, I never thought of that one as a weapon, but
Right,
she did end up getting I think it said she got a assault and battery charge for that.
So was her original plan to just make the bees sting the cops? Or
I'm
was
assuming so, because I guess she pulled up and just started shaking the beehives. So I don't
animal
think she
abuse
cared.
on top of it all? That's messed up.
That's what I'm saying. Like the lady's
Save
wild.
the bees.
The lady is wild. Wifey says hello, everyone. All right, number 3. Now we get into Florida people, and you know
Oh boy,
how that go. A Florida woman, Danya Svoboda, and her caterer Jocelyn Bryant thought lacing wedding guest dishes with marijuana would be a cute prank. Not only was it not cute, but it was also a crime. Things went south at the April wedding quickly as people had adverse reactions to the food. One guest began vomiting, another thought she was having a heart attack and retreated to her car. Some guests had hallucinations and other had dark thoughts about their loved ones. Were these people, well, let's say, was the bride plastered or just plain stupid?
Stupid in my. But I actually have a correlating story to this. Just kind of crazy. So, a lot of my family smokes hella pot. So like it's just like normal. But there's like a few of us here and there who don't. Like for example, I don't smoke, and my mom doesn't smoke. My stepdad doesn't smoke. My aunt and my grandma. The rest of us smoke. So like for Christmas, my cousin gave out these chocolates to everybody, not saying that they were infused with THC or whatever. So everyone ate them and everyone was loving them, except thankfully I didn't eat it because I just didn't want one right then. My mom and my stepdad ate like 3 of them.
Oh no.
They were screwed up for like 2 days, like couldn't walk straight. They were so mad. Oh my god, it was so crazy.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. So as you guys know, I do take edibles for pain and anxiety. So I've been trying to figure out my dosage too. So typically I'll do like a 20 milligram gummy like twice a day, and that seems to do the trick. But every place is different and every kind is different. Right. So some of them I'll take 20 and I'm like, oh no, that's not it. And the other ones I'll take 20 and I'm like, man, I'm still in pain. So you know, you got to know your dosages when you're doing stuff like that, especially those of us who are using medicinal marijuana for medicine. You have to know your dosages, because if you take too much, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
All right. So we got JP said they were stoned and stupid and they gave them acid. That's what I thought. I'm like, hallucinations from weed? What? So turns out they actually didn't say. So I'm going to say probably both, because I'd assume it's your wedding. You probably had a couple drinks.
Right.
You probably tried the merchandise before you put it in everybody's stuff. So I'd assume. They ended up getting charged. I didn't write the charge down, but they did end up getting charged 2 felonies for that.
Wow.
It had something to do with tampering with people's food and something else. It was, I mean.
Probably not a good way to bring 2 families together.
I mean, it really, yes, JP, you were right. It really is the test of like, can you get through trials and tribulations? Because that was a violation, if you ask me.
For sure.
I don't think I would have been all right with it, especially now. Well, let me stop, because back in the day, I'd have been fine with it. I'd have been like, dope, this is awesome. Thank you for this. Now it would ruin me. Right. Totally ruin me. All right, where are we at? Number 4. Police in Marion County, Florida, pulled over 26-year-old Patreon Stokes for speeding this summer. They searched his car, finding multiple illegal items and money. They took him into custody, but when they arrived at the station, the money had vanished. It was a short-lived mystery. Money started falling out of his backside in the form of $20 bills, like he was some kind of gastrointestinal ATM. After the booty hole exploration, deputies located $1,090 in his butt.
Wow.
Stokes received one additional charge for his rectal magic trick, as well as a litany of other charges. Was this man plastered or just plain stupid?
I think this one's specifically for Ashley, since she loves butt stuff.
Wasn't it Jesse, though? Wasn't Jesse the butt checker?
I thought it was Ashley.
I think it's both of them, I guess.
Yeah, it probably was both of them.
I would assume it's both of them.
I'm gonna say he was messed up, because I've seen multiple people stuff shit in their rectum, but never have I seen a sober person do it. It's always someone who's fucked up who puts stuff up their butt. So they had to have been messed up.
My wife used to be a correctional officer, and I'm sure she's seen quite a bit of stuff in booking. I forgot to ask her if she's ever seen somebody use their butt as an ATM. See, guilty. I believe that's Jesse. I don't think did you ever say who you are, Crazy Canadian? It's either Jesse or Bex, or who else is our local resident Canadians in the group? I think it's just Bex and Jesse, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Wifey said, I've seen some stuff in people's butt, but that's crazy. Why are you looking at people's butts, boo? It's Jesse. Hey. Oh. Yes, I did think of you, Jesse, when I put this story in here, and I was hoping you'd be here for this story, because my thought was, if you go to jail in booking and they immediately make you butt chug something, then everything comes out. Everything comes out. Okay, drum roll, please. This man was plastered. What I had to leave out of the story is they found cocaine, weed, meth, and I think they also found crack and booze in his car.
Wow, he's getting real messed up.
Yeah, so they didn't really say if it was like packaged for sale or anything like that, but they said they found all of those things in his car on top of him speeding and all of that. So again, that's another Florida person.
Of all the things, he hid the money in his butt.
That's what I'm saying.
Why not the rest?
I'm like, okay, you really thought you were about to get into jail with butt money and do what?
Right. Like what next after this? I don't know.
You had a ton of drugs in your car. You're gonna go to jail for a minute. You don't need that $1,000 in butt money.
Right.
It's not gonna do you any good. All right, last but not least.
Oh my God.
This one was pretty cool. This one tripped me out. So you know how I have a big opposition to religion, right? In the Epic Parties department, a priest at the Vatican was caught by police in a big gay orgy. Neighbors were sick of the noise and the steady stream of young men visiting Monsignor Luigi Capozzi's apartment. So they called the police. According to the Italian newspaper Fatto Quotidiano, members of the Pontifical Swiss Guard, the Vatican's police force, arrived at the scene mid-orgy, where they found a group of nude men rolling around on the floor in the throes of pleasure. Though gay sex isn't illegal in Vatican City, Capozzi was arrested. Was he plastered or just plain stupid?
Probably just stupid, I'd have to say.
JP, how'd you get that money in there, JP?
Look a couple comments up.
A booth tobacco to go to prison with? Oh, golly. Booty smoke? Terrible. All right. Mama Joelle says stupid. Brittany says stupid. JP says dumb. David says stupid. Is everybody on the stupid train?
I'm on the stupid train.
Now, it turns out this guy wasn't just like some low-level dude either. He was like the understudy to the person that was like the right-hand man of the Pope. So it wasn't like just some dude who worked around the area. Like, he was high level. Drum roll, please. Dude was plastered.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't just a gay orgy. It was a drug orgy. So
Wow.
apparently, not only was there butt naked dudes all doing their thing all over the place, there was every drug you could find under the sun, I guess, in this place as well.
Wow.
So it's situations like that that I think made me stop wanting to even do church or any of that kind of stuff. Because coming up, there was and I believe this is a church in my neighborhood. I was really, really young, and this is what I remember. So I'm about to ask my mom if this actually happened, but I remember the pastor getting caught at a bar or something with a hooker.
Oh, wow.
And I was in like middle school. So I'm like, I'm not going to listen to this guy tell me I'm a sinner and I can't get into heaven when he was just caught with a hooker. What kind of stuff is that?
See, I've always been like, I've always struggled with the religion thing. I know I believe in something, but I don't know what. But my mom used to always take me to church with her. And there's this one pastor that we seen like for years. He was just like the head of our church. And like after I had went through my addiction and like got sober, it came out that he was actually molesting little boys. It was crazy to find out that it like was happening like in our own place, like our own church, our own hometown. It definitely turned me away even more, you know.
You never know, man. You just with people in general. It's always been this way, but I think now people are more aware that you can't just trust everybody, you know, and even people that, and I say this all the time too about depression, people that you think are the happiest and doing the, you know, the greatest in life. Those people sometimes are the people that are the most depressed, the most hurt, the most, you know, they just hide it well. So you got to be careful. That's why we don't let our kids go to people's houses and spend the night and do any of that stuff unless we know them very well, because you just never know.
Right.
You just never know. Well, that's it for Who Done It. What'd you think of that?
I thought that was so fun. I like that a lot.
I like it too. So you're gonna have to. I don't know if we want to go back week to week or what, but I want to play too. So you're gonna have to pick a category.
Yeah, let's do it. We should think up a few more games too. I think Ashley like really wants us to drink soup for some reason. So we're gonna have to
she wants us to shotgun soup can.
Yeah.
So my thought was too, eventually down the line, we'll find like we keep talking about apple cider vinegar or whatever, shotgun the can of soup. So when we get one wrong, that'll be
there
the consequence.
You go. Yeah, I like that.
I think that'll be cool.
And we have like a bunch of old like card games that you would like, drinking games. We should like, you know, kind of do one of those maybe one night even too. You know, if you got the game and I have the game, we could totally do that with our mocktails.
We could even do like beer pong or whatever. I could put on the mix cam and I could set up my cups over here.
Yeah.
And we can just play as we're talking. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really cool.
There's a lot that can happen. This is brand new, you guys. We're trying to figure this thing out. It's I'm glad we're able to have our people in the building today. Anything you guys think would be cool to see on the show or for us to have on the show, or people you want us to see on the show, companies you want us to work with. Like I said, this is all for you guys. So anything you guys want to see, your suggestions aren't just suggestions. They're taken very seriously and will be put in place. Hot sauce shots. Okay, never mind. Everybody but Joelle can comment. Actually, it'd be cool if you guys have all seen Hot Ones, I'm assuming, right? If we did the Hot Ones pack, like they do it with the wings. Oh, we should do that.
See, I'm not good with hot.
Ha, even better. See, that's the point.
I will probably cry maybe or throw up.
That's the point. You're supposed to. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be torturous.
Have me over here looking a mess.
Well, I mean, aren't we both going to be looking a mess at some point on this show?
I guess so.
I guess so. So in other news, I meant to ask you, how's baby girl? I think I hear some coughing going on. Is she all right?
Yeah, we're coughing. So today we went and got the ultrasound and the blood work done. So we're waiting for the results from that. Just kind of praying that, you know, whatever it is, it's nothing major and, you know, it's fixable, something we can do to like, you know, keep her from being in pain constantly.
Right.
Today she was okay. Yeah, we still have the cough. That's just something that like never goes away. I don't think. I think it's just like the lingering preschool cough because they all blow boogies on each other constantly. But yeah, it's in the air right now. We're just kind of waiting for results and praying for the best.
My daughter, my youngest daughter, is chronically sick. Like I don't. She gets like a day or two in between, or a week where she's not sick, and then she's sick again. Um, we've taken her to the doctor quite a bit, or her mom's taken her to the doctor quite a bit, and they haven't said anything crazy. Like nothing's like extraordinarily wrong with her, but she's just always sick. I don't know if it's her immune system or what it is.
That's how it is with the girls. I mean, and I felt like their immune systems were really, really good. Like the first, few years of their life, it was just as we started preschool, this sickness has just been horrible. And I don't know if maybe it has to do with like COVID. We were kind of like pulled away from society for a while and away from all the germs. Our immune systems kind of went down the drain, and now they're just like exposed to all of the nastiness. I don't know, but I hate it. I hate that they're constantly sick. It drives me nuts.
It's the worst thing in the world, and it sucks for me because obviously we have so many kids that all of them get sick, and then the babies get sick, and when they get sick, it's the worst thing in the world. When they were babies, like a couple months old, they got, I don't know if it was a stomach bug or what it was, but they were both like thrown projectile vomiting. And keep in mind, they're like, I don't know, 3-4 months old, maybe 5 months old. So they're babies and they're projectile vomit. I was freaking, I didn't know what to do. I literally was like, we got to go to the hospital, right? Like, they're going to choke. They don't even know how to swallow things yet. Like,
right.
It's very, very scary. It's
and then it sucks whenever the kid's sick and then you get it also. We had a stomach bug a couple of months ago in like midwinter where the whole household was just so sick, like puking like crazy. Like I would be trying to care for them while like hardly being able to stand because I was so sick to my stomach. It was the worst like 2 days of my life. Like it was bad. It was really bad.
People don't get it, man. Like, I'm not a single parent, but my wife does work during the day. She subs. So the days where you're sick, like super sick, and you still have to take care of the baby, like there's nothing you can do about it. You have to get up and do what you got to do. The same thing with my back pain. There are some days where me getting up off the couch is nearly impossible. Like I'm army crawling, rolling off the couch, like doing what you got to do. It's a different world, man. Parenting is a different world. Those of you who don't have kids yet, I would tell you to make sure you get your mental fortitude in order first. Because it will test you. It will test you more than anything I've ever gone through in my life. Sobriety, yes, it's hard. Recovery is difficult. The triggers are difficult, but I can handle it. You know what I mean? It's like there's no question that I can handle that. When it comes to these kids, some days, like some mornings when you haven't slept. This morning, I was up at 3:30 with the babies.
Wow.
I slept maybe an hour or two and had to get up with them. And it was typically, I'm like, oh man, I'm frustrated. And then you're extra frustrated with them because you just want them to go chill and they're not chilling. And, it's all a renegotiation of how you think about things. Because how can you be frustrated at a 2-year-old who's just being a 2-year-old?
Yeah, and then try to do that on top of like maintaining your sobriety, like all the emotions that come with parenthood, and you got to like learn to deal with and manage those emotions so you don't go by like an 8-ball. It's tough. It's really freaking tough.
Yeah.
Some days I'm so tired and so worn. I'm like, something may help a little bit, but I know I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Do you know how many days I'm like, if I just had an Adderall right now, if I could just pop an Adderall, everything would be fine. I could clean this entire house. I could play with these kids. But you can't, so I don't know. I try to tell young cats, these days, just don't try booze or drugs or anything like that until later in life if you ever want to experience it. Because if you try it young and you get hooked, the rest of your life is down this path. We're doing well in recovery and we're happy and we're fun and we're all of that, but it still is more drama than it's worth. The partying and the fun and the drinking and the drugs and all of that fun that you're having is going to set you up for a life of regret. And it's really not worth it. I mean, at that age, you don't even know if you can handle it or not, or if you're an addictive personality or not. I mean, at least I hope you don't know that well yet, but.
Right. Plus the feeling of coming out of it and like being so behind compared to everyone else your age, like having to catch up on life is so bad.
Joel said, hell, I was dealing with adults today at work. Boy wanted to drink. They were not flaccid, just plain stupid. That's hilarious. I can't imagine Joel being like, I know he probably has an angry side to him, but what we know of that man, like, I
Right.
can't imagine him being mean or like angry at anybody
Me neither.
ever. That'd be
He
funny
seems
to
like
see
the
him mad.
sweetest, kindest, most, laid back person ever.
Right. Maybe Robin can tell us all the deep, dark secrets of Joel.
Yeah.
Stash Master Joel.
First special guest, Joel's mom.
Dun, dun, dun. That'd be so sweet.
Right.
She said he is. Look at that.
Aw.
We're good judges of character. That's what we are.
And Joel's just a real ass dude.
Super real. Not to toot your horn or nothing, Joel. I wouldn't want you thinking you're the man or nothing like that,
But you're the man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So, in other news, sobriety's fun.
Lots of fun.
Just letting you guys know, I'm very proud of everybody that's here today. Everybody that I see in here, I believe, is a part of our 3A family. And as usual, I got to shamelessly plug our people. So 3A is, boom. Started out as just Zoom recovery meetings with Nikki, Rachel, and Phelan. And it turned into this. Well, for one, that's where this show came from. It turned into this just huge movement, this huge family. And it really has already, since I've been around, maybe 4 months or so, people's lives have literally been changing. And it's one of the most incredible things I think I've ever seen happen in real time, besides my kids being born. Actually, it's kind of lateral because it's like giving brand new life to grown adults. And it's, I don't know, it just does something. It's really hard to explain for me. I try to tell people about it, and I'm just like, I don't want to sound like everybody else sounds when they're trying to make you think something's really cool.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know, man. You just got to come check it out.
Right. That's what I always say is like, I could go on and on forever about 3A, and you probably wouldn't believe me, but you come to one meeting and you're never going to leave. And it warms my heart so much to see what this has become, because I started these meetings expecting to do it like maybe a couple of times, and just for the hell of it, with like a couple of TikTok girls. And I never plan to continue hosting these meetings for a year, and then radio show, and now all the things that I'm doing, and the family that we're trying to build a nonprofit with this now. Like, it's becoming so much, and I would have never guessed it would have became this, but I'm so freaking thankful. Like, it's awesome.
I think the biggest thing for me, one of the biggest things for me. All right, JP, we'll see you, brother. Thank you for coming to hang out. We love you. We love you. We love you. Love you. Robin also says, I am proud of you all. You have a great future ahead of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because for a lot of us, we didn't see that in our futures. In our men's meeting yesterday, we talked about aspirations and where we see ourselves and things like that. And I was telling the guys, I get so bummed when I got to miss them. Oh, well, you can always go back and watch them as well. They'll be on our YouTube. We'll share them on our pages and everything like that. If you can't catch us live, we'll definitely make sure you see the show. I was telling the guys to picture who you want to be in like 10 years, right? Because why are we doing this if we don't have a goal for who we're trying to be? And then I took it a step further, and I said, think of yourself in an alternate universe where you never drank or never did drugs at all. Like, what kind of dude do you see yourself being, right? Once you've pictured that, or what kind of woman you want to see yourself being, once you've pictured that, start acting like you're that person. In terms of, don't allow people to treat you like you're an addict or a drug addict. Like, would that person allow that? Don't do things that person wouldn't do, and start to mold your life like that person molded their life. Because at that point, now all the bullshit's gone.
Right.
So you don't have to deal with any of that shit.
I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is they want to make changes in their life, and rather than just making those changes, they're like, oh, I got to do this first. I got to do this first. I got to complete this. Just fucking do it. If you can do it, just do it, because telling yourself you got to finish something and before something else before you can do that is only holding you back. If you want to change your mindset, if you want to change the way that you think about yourself, you want to start going to therapy, you want to start working out, what are you waiting for? I got to tell myself that sometimes too, because I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, I'll wait until next time I go to the grocery store to start working out because I don't got any healthy food.
Facts.
I should just start working out anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you just gotta get going. You just gotta get getting started on something. Now, my issue is with all the projects and stuff that I do, and you know, all the things I got going on, I have a problem of starting stuff and then losing interest in finishing it.
Me too.
So like I make beats and stuff like that just for fun. I'm not trying to be a producer or nothing serious, but I have like 15 beats that I started. And then I'm just like, I'm good. Like, just never can get reinvigorated to finish stuff. So I think right now is what I got to work on is finishing these projects. Me, I work on pressure. So if somebody's like, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, I'm like, okay, cool, got it, bam.
Right.
But when it comes to me wanting to do something, I'm like, oh, I got time. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I'll, or I always have an excuse of why I'm not. I bought that bass guitar that I was playing the other day. I bought that like a month or two ago, and I still have barely, like, I'm doing a couple little things on it, but I bought a 5-string instead of a 4-string. So I'm like, oh, no, I don't want, because it's too hard. It's a 5. No, I'm just going to, and I don't really play it, So I guess my advice to everybody is find these things that you want to do and just jump on it. Don't just get started. Like, consistency is the key to anything.
Right.
Especially recovery.
Oh yeah, for sure. And whenever we talk about, holding yourself back, definitely with recovery, because you hold yourself back too long, you wait too long to get sober, you may never get that opportunity again. You know what I mean? Especially with the shit that's out there today.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary, and it's really, really real, the amount of people that we're losing today.
Oh man. I feel like, the other day when I think it was the last co-ed meeting, when I was telling you guys I was just down and felt heavy. Yeah. I keep hearing all these stories about people who are ODing, people who are like in the last couple of days, like this last past weekend, and like still continuing to happen. It's just death everywhere and destruction and just people losing family members from shit that's avoidable. It's heavy on me, man. I feel like I wear that shit on my heart.
Yeah, and then there's the survivor's guilt. Like, I feel that a lot, with the loved ones I've lost, the friends I've lost. I'm like, okay, why them and not me? Right. I was just as bad, if not worse, of an addict. Why did they go and I'm still here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I struggle with that a lot.
So I got that from war. I don't know if you guys can see this tattoo, but it says fallen comrades, OEF, OIF, beginning to end. Making it out of that place after the amount of people I saw not make it, like physically saw, not just in caskets. I was in the procession when they brought the bodies off the plane, like wrapped in green cellophane tape. Like one specific one that I remember that really was rough was there was 32 of them that came home at once. Wow. So that was rough. Like, the survivor's guilt from that alone is crippling. And then you get into recovery and people that, my homeboy that I told you guys that killed himself, that, people who have OD'd that I know, that, like, what makes me so much more worth it than them? But I think that question is something you can't ask yourself, because it's not true. It's not a worthy or not worthy thing. It's not you're better than them, they weren't, it's none of that. Those are all made up, manufactured things. You just have to be thankful. You whatever the case may be, whyever it happened, stop looking for why it happened. Stop trying to figure out why it happened. It doesn't matter. You're here. Focus on that. That's it.
Yep. I agree.
Made me another one, and I did a lot more ginger ale this time.
I know. I might have to even add a little bit more ginger ale to this one, but I only brought one little can with me.
See, now here's the problem. I would say for someone definitely in earlier addiction, I don't know if I'd even try this, because when I just sipped that, I added more and I sipped it, and I was hoping for that bite that you get from a lot of champagne. Right. It's not that same bite at all. So I think for some people that may trigger them to really want that bite.
Right.
And then end up going to. So if you're somebody who thinks they'll be triggered by something like that, just go a lot of OJ and just use the ginger ale for that little bit of extra taste. But because it definitely is, you can tell. Like the other one, the Day Sweet, that tasted pretty spot on like a craft beer. Like nothing to me was missing out of that. You can tell that it's not alcoholic, but I wasn't like yearning for something else after that.
Right.
With this one, I'm like, oh, I remember exactly how that bite of that champagne tastes. And I'm like, oh.
Right. Yeah, no, I think, also if, mocktails aren't for you, then they're not for you. Like, it's totally okay. I've never really had a mocktail until recently, because I never really had a reason to. I always replaced my shit with like, my drugs I replaced with nicotine, and the alcohol I replaced with caffeine. So, those are my like go-tos now, because I know they may kill me over a long period of time, but they're not going to kill me tomorrow. So
I was going to say booze and drugs will kill you right now.
Right. Yep. At least I have a little more time with the nicotine and caffeine.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I was thinking about that today too. It's funny you brought that up, because I was thinking about going to the doctors for some reason. And I'm like, every time you go to the doctor, the very first thing they do, are you a smoker? Yes. Well, you need to quit because And in my head, I'm like running through this conversation of, lady, I done been to 2 wars. I done this. I done that. I got 8 kids. I got this. I quit drinking booze and doing drugs and Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
I'm a
Honestly, that's what I say all the time. I hear, even like, I'll go to the gas station to get my smokes, and like, it's one of those little gas stations. There's all kinds of regulars, and those old men will come in to play their lottery.
You're too pretty to smoke.
Yep, exactly. And I'm like, I gave up heroin, right? Like, this is all I have left. So please.
Would you have walked up to me and said, you're too pretty to do heroin? No.
Yeah. I mean, exactly, for real. And, it's heroin or it's cigarettes, honestly. So you better leave me alone with my cigarettes.
That's kind of where I was at too. It was like, I think the fight of not like keeping everything out of me was just, not that it was too hard. I made it 3 months smoke free. And there was just a point where I was like, I found myself missing going outside and smoking a cigarette. I don't know. I was super stressed. My anxiety was getting really bad to the point where I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, I had to choose the lesser of the evils at that point. Did I have to? No. Okay, let me bring that back. No, I didn't have to. I chose to. And I made sure it was the choice. I even talked to my wife. I'm like, it's not a compulsory thing where I'm like, I have to go get one. It's not like a withdrawal thing. It's nothing like that. I just decided that day that I would rather have a strong backbone to fight everything else and take that one thing out of the equation.
Right.
And to be quite honest with you, it has worked.
Yeah.
My anxiety levels have been much lower. I've been focused on obviously the show and in 3A, and so it just, anything you can do that isn't harmful to your recovery that helps keep you sane. I think people miss the fact that addiction and being in recovery is completely a mental health thing.
Right.
Some of us believe in it as being a disease, which I do. And I believe it's a mental health disorder, right. Just like depression is, just like PTSD is, just like all those things. Addiction is lateral to those things, and they all kind of work together, to be honest. Like it's hard for me to believe, if you're an addict, that you don't have PTSD and depression, because then why are you using drugs?
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, they say like over 80% of all people who struggle with substance use disorder have some form of mental illness. 80%. That's huge. That's a huge amount of us who are addicts, who are also struggling with mental health. I mean, there's always something underlying for anything that we do. And I think, something else that we need to keep in mind as people in recovery is, so many things in this world are bad for you. You go to the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, say you were in Ohio when that train flipped over and you breathed air the wrong way. That might be bad for you.
I'm up here in Michigan. I was scared of shit when I seen that. I didn't know.
That was an hour away from where I'm at.
Oh no.
Yeah, an hour away from where I'm at. And that's what I mean is, like, if you really want to, take away every little thing in your life that could be possibly bad for your body or bad for your mind whatsoever, you're not going to have very much left.
Right.
If I'm going to do all this work and go through all this shit to deal with my trauma and my mental health and to remove drugs and alcohol from my life. I want to have some joys left over. If that joy is a cigarette every morning, so fucking be it. You know what I mean?
Honestly, because that's exactly what it came down to. It was like a thing of like, I can't have nothing. Like, can I have something? Right. And I was telling my wife jokingly, I'm like, I feel like I still need to hold on to my bad boy image a little bit and keep smoking. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel good being so clean.
Yeah. That's another thing I think that like nobody talks about is like kind of getting confused with like your image afterwards too, because when you're out in those bars and constantly drinking and using and getting high, you just like feel powerful in a way because you're like, no one can mess with me, nobody can do nothing to me. You pull all that away and you're like, okay, so like where's like what's left now? You know, where's my
edge?
Where's my oomph? You know,
I'm not edgy at all. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you know. Like, I might as well stop saying cuss words and all that too, you know, just become a saint.
Well, that's why I said whenever I got sober, actually just recently, a couple months ago, I was like, something in me just really wants a face tattoo. And my boyfriend's like, why the hell would you get a face tattoo when you just got sober? You're like actually doing good with yourself. I said, I just really, really want one, like something and I got one. I got a little one right here by my ear.
Oh, there we go.
And it's enough on my face that I feel like a badass, but it's not completely on my face that it's going to affect the rest of my life. So it was a good, happy medium.
You know what? I should do one, but I should do it under my beard so I can hide it. And it just says sober as fuck right here. Just so it reminds any bartender ever looks at me like, hey, do you want something to drink? I'm like, yeah. Can I get a
there you go.
Can I get a mimosa?
Right.
That'd be hilarious. Joel said, someone asked if I was going to quit smoking. When I went and got sober, I said straight up, you can't take it all the way. I have to have something to keep me sane. It's absolutely true, man. David says, I have known people that were helped by the nicotine gums when they wanted to quit. I tried that, and then I realized I was abusing the nicotine gum. So it wasn't just like pop one when I want to go smoke a cigarette. I was like, if I take 5 of these bitches, I'll get high. Like, you know.
Right. See, I did the patches, and I would plop the patches on and then smoke a whole pack of cigarettes.
I was mad.
And you stand up and you're like,
it was fun. I was like, yo, let's go. I put passion on. I ate some gum, and then I'm like, well, let's go smoke a black and mild and see what happens.
Right. Yeah. That's like how you know. That's how you know.
We're bad. It's bad. We're bad.
If you're abusing nicotine patches, that's bad. That's really bad.
I pushed the limits on everything, man. Like, I remember it started in the desert, though, when I was I think it was in Afghanistan. I used to dip because we couldn't smoke all the time. So I would have a fat lip in, and then I'd get a break, and I'd put another lip in and go smoke a cigarette at the same time. And I'm like, I'll get high as shit, and it'll carry me through. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. It's so sad. I think it's the biggest part to me, I think, about the mental health thing for us is that no matter what, and I think for the rest of our lives we'll do this, we've found that thing that comfortably let us run from ourselves mentally. Right. And even when you're clean and sober, I think we remember that feeling of just, I need to escape. So what normal people say, I need to not think about anything. I'm gonna go to the bar and get a drink and just relax and unwind. We no longer have that. So we're still fighting to find those things that we can use to get out of our own minds or away from ourselves. Right. And it just becomes increasingly harder when you don't indulge in the things that most people, use to do that. So
gotta find alternatives.
I think that's another thing. Maybe for next show we should look up, I don't know if there's like a specialist that can give us any kind of tips on stuff like that, but just, I don't know, meditation doesn't do it. So don't even say meditation, because I think about so much more shit than I usually do when I meditate.
Yeah, I can't meditate either.
No. I don't know. It's really hard for us. I don't, there's not much that I can just go do that's going to take my mind off the fact that I'm an addict and alcoholic and that the world's a crazy place and that I have mental problems.
Right.
Guess we just got to deal with it.
I think it would be cool to get some specialists, some different guests, and kind of like dive a little bit deeper into some of these topics. I think it'd be a really cool conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Get that sleep coach in here again. That would be really cool. But yeah, I think having a specialist who can kind of, we can give them our point of views, and then they can kind of explain, the scientific background of it all. That would be interesting.
Yeah. We got to find somebody who's a bit stuffy too, so we can like make them get all flustered and be like, yeah, this is what it's like when you deal with addicts, mister.
Right.
Like, don't give him the easy time of like, yeah, we understand. Like, really rack his brain and see how good he really is.
Right.
That would be hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
All right, I think we're coming up to closing time, folks. So we have decided we were going to do the 2-hour thing. I feel like 2 hours is just a bit much. So we're going to try to stick around like the hour mark or so. I would say when we have guests on and stuff like that, we probably will go a little bit longer. But for all intents and purposes, I think we're going to try to keep this thing at an hour. I know everybody's got things to do. Everybody's got places to be. As usual, though, we are beyond happy that you guys are here. I love doing this, and it looks like everybody else is having fun. So this will be last call. I feel like what we should do on last call is our last shout outs, anything else we may have heard or read or were thinking about that we didn't get to in the show. Just call those out here on last call before we wrap it up. So last call, you got any shout outs? You got anything we didn't talk about you wanted to bring up? Any hot topics?
Oh boy, you put me on the spot now. I can't think of anything. You know what?
You're gonna text me as soon as we close out and be like, "Oh no!"
Right? I forgot. Yeah. No, I think I have somebody I want to shout out. Actually, 2 people. I'm going to shout out our family, Phelan and Sierra. Shout out to you too. Yes. If you know, and obviously, we just want you guys to know we love you very, very much. So shout out to you two, because you two are the realest of the real.
So much love. I definitely second that shout out. 2 of the strongest people I know, because going through some of the stuff they've been able to handle. And those of you that don't know, Phelan is one of our brothers, one of our founders of 3A, one of the strongest people I know, one of the most incredible, most inspiring people I know. Watching people that you look up to go through things and watching them battle it is like the most Spartacus gladiator shit ever. You're like, I gotta fight. If they could fight, I gotta fight. So definitely shout out to them. My last call, as usual, if you listen to the Good Time Show ever, you always know my last shout out is to my rock, my queen, my wife. The sobriety thing has been really hard, but she's made it the easiest thing and the most non-brain. What's the word? Brainless? Mindless?
Mindless?
No brainer. She's made it the most no-brainer thing to do ever. She's never pushed me to do it. She never bugged me about my drinking. She understood. Like I said, she voiced her opinion and wished, I could keep it under control. And, that support, man, you got to find that support in your life, because if you don't have it, it's really, really, really getting hard. Okay. Just so you guys know. Sure. If you or someone struggles with addiction, please call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. This is just one of the numbers that's available. I know there are a myriad of numbers.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that I work helping to get people into treatment as well. So if anybody, kind of wants a little bit more personal one-on-one help with stuff like that, we have tons of resources I'd be happy to share with you. It can help you find treatment if that's what you're looking for.
Most definitely. I would say, I've had issues with like the suicide hotline. I called one time. I was going 90 down the freeway, hammered, like really was going to drive my car into something. And I was trying to crash. I was trying to crash without trying to crash, because I didn't want it to look like I did it on purpose. So I was attempting to I was at the end of my rope, and I called them, and I ended up arguing with the guy who answered the phone. He literally told me, you don't sound like you need help. You just want to argue. I was like, dude, what? Wow. Yeah. So if you get the wrong person on the other end of those phone calls, don't let that deter you. Reach out again to someone else. Reach out to one of us. Reach out to anybody, because that one call should not be the do or don't, because there's some other humans on this planet that aren't in the right places. So please take care of yourselves. Like Nikki said, hit us up if you ever need anything. thank you guys so much for joining us today. This was
such a good one.
Yeah, man. I think we're starting to roll, and this is a thing now. This is not going away.
I love it.
So, with that, thank you guys for being here, and congratulations. If you stuck with us this whole time and you go to bed now, you will wake up with no hangover. I am Kujo Speaks.
I'm Nikki Hagan.
And we'll see you fools next week. Love you.